Hi everybody, how's it going? It's of course me, Billy Pop. If you've seen my video before, you know why this video is such low quality. But today I'm going to be reviewing a movie that is very, very controversial. Most people have gotten their reviews of this out of the way already, I'm sure. If they even planned on watching it, which I wasn't planning on watching this. I said, nope, I don't want to watch this fucking movie. I was very against it. Almost more to do with the drama that it caused, which was just pathetic. Just fucking pathetic. It had more to do with the drama it caused, which why I didn't want to see it, but also it had to do with the fact that here's my opinion on a few things. I thought that the fact that Dan Aykroyd and among others wanted, especially among fans, wanted there to be a Ghostbusters 3 really bad. Bill Murray decided to not do the Ghostbusters 3. He kept making fucking excuses, but yet he'd say yes, then he'd say no, then he'd show up on shows dressed as a Ghostbuster. You know, they played Ghostbusters in Zombieland, so he just liked to tease the shit out of his audience about it, right? Then Harold Ramis fucking finally kicks the bucket, and then he goes as a cameo onto the new Ghostbusters movie. I thought that was fucked. Like, who knows? Maybe they hated each other, but I thought that that was just somehow in poor taste. I thought Bill Murray, as much as I love his movies, was a fucking asshole, actually. Mad respect for the guy's fucking, you know, filmography and all that, but it pissed me off, honestly, to be totally frank. And I mean, I'm not one to get pissed off over movies very often. Like, really, I could care less, but it's just that. And then, of course, there was the whole thing with James the Nintendo nerd, and, you know, everybody, if you don't go see it, you're fucking, you've heard all the news. I don't have to explain it. Anyway, I'm sure that we know what I'm reviewing today, and that would be Ghostbusters, the remake of the original movie from whenever the fucking, I think, the late 80s. Sigourney Weaver still had weird hair, so it must have been the late 80s. Anyways, what can I say? Well, I'm going to be comparing it because it's impossible not to, of course. I'm going to say right now the original movie's better, of course. It is. Everybody knew that. And As for them picking a full female cast, it wasn't the fact that they picked a full female cast that ticked me off. It's the fact that it wasn't the original cast. You know, if you're gonna make Ghostbusters, it's got to be the original cast. Like, it just has to be for me, like, cause that's what I like. I mean, fuck, like, it has nothing to do with the fact that they're women. It has to do that they could have put anybody in there, and I would have not liked it. That's the truth. So, with that being said, let's get into the movie. The direction and all that was, I guess, okay. I don't know. It wasn't anything spectacular. It felt very cookie cutterish to me, and just the way Hollywood puts out things these days, especially comedies, it was no different of a comedy than really anything else you'd see. Writing wise, the dialogue was just like something you'd see in a Seth Rogen movie or something like that, where I don't know why they think now that everyone has to have awkward conversation. It's like they think everybody's an awkward person in movies now. Like when Superbad came out, that was great, but it's like ever since everything's trying to duplicate that formula, like where they interrupt each other, everybody talks at the same fucking time. Like at times it's funny, but it's getting kind of old. Like back in the 90s, things were funny because there were characters. Now it's like everybody's the same fucking character. So obviously that brings me to the characters. They were okay. They weren't anything special. Nothing that we haven't seen before. Uh, that McCarthy lady was a little different than she usually is, but only a little bit. The rest of the cast I really don't know, to be totally honest. I know I've seen them in other things, but that's about it. Um, Now, when it comes to the like the acting itself, it was done probably as good as it could be. I do want to mention too, there were a couple things that I think that they added into the movie after the controversy came out about it that I think obviously they were making fun of the YouTube community or whatever, or poking fun at all the people that were like, I guess you could say, ripping on them for being women and all that. I don't know. I think it was supposed to be clever, but it just came off as self-aware, and it was very self-aware for a Ghostbusters movie. Like, it wasn't. It was like a parody of a Ghostbusters movie. Uh, Dialogue, like I already covered, basically through the characters. Okay, now the music was, there was a fucking Ghostbusters like remake song or something. Like every song on here wasn't the original theme. But yeah, there was one like all right sort of sounding one that kind of paid a bit of tribute to the original. The other one was really really shitty. It was like some I don't know if it was supposed to be R&B or what, but it was fucking retarded. Uh, then we get down to effects. Uh, they were pretty lame, man. With what the original Ghostbusters had to go with, the effects were pretty boring, pretty bland. You know, uh, I don't know what to say. Like they were CGI. It looked like they were CGI. It's exactly what everyone has already said. I've heard people talk about this movie, so it's exactly what everyone already said. Now, let me see. Did I cover everything? I honestly, that's like I can't say much else really. The movie itself, it was okay. It was all right. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't like what you want when you go to see Ghostbusters. For a new generation of kids, they may like it, but it's also got a lot more. It's a lot more. Well, I would say more actually. Probably about the same as the original. I think it was. I think it was a little bit, almost in some parts, too offensive. Like there was a fart joke in there where they talk about queefing. They don't actually say queefing, but I thought that was a little over the top. You know what I mean? That for I thought it was. You want to talk about a Ghostbusters movie and piss feminists off, and then make that joke, and then put it in there like, oh, now the feminists won't be mad or something. Like I don't really, or I don't know. Like it just, to me it was just really untasteful because kids are gonna see this fucking movie, right? Uh, okay, so the movie itself, like I said, wasn't bad. I chuckled a couple times, but I mean, the whole time I just couldn't help but think, like, God, I wish this was a real Ghostbusters movie. So for my generation, everyone's probably gonna have the same fucking opinion. I'm sure everybody does have the same opinion. It's okay, but it's not the best, and it's not truly worth buying or anything. Like it's not worth it. It just isn't. Uh, can I recommend it to like maybe somebody who is like anywhere from I can recommend it to people who don't like the original Ghostbusters, or maybe people that I can recommend it to like teenage girls maybe. I can't recommend it to very many other people. Uh, what would I give it for a rating? Well, I think for a rating, I'd have to, out of 10, man, I'd have to give it like the best I can give it, honestly, is a 4. And that's being generous, really. 4 out of 10 because it's not even an original idea. And it wasn't, even for a remake, it wasn't executed the best. So there you have it. That's my review on Ghostbusters. So thank you for watching, guys. I'm gonna try and get like I said before, everything up and running here soon, hopefully, because honestly, I'm kind of bummed out that I can't do any editing right now. It's kind of a drag. But in the same breath, you might get to know me a little better because then nothing will be prepared as much. I'm just kind of going off the top of my head. So, with that being said, I hope you guys have a great day. Please enjoy life. Life is too short, and see you later.